Hey, it's Amethyst Virgo. So I don't believe I've done a video like this before. I have done a few compatibility videos, but with compatibility videos, I always am careful because there's so much more to compatibility than just someone's sign, just someone's, ideal energy. So I like to sometimes refrain from, you're an Aries, you need to be with Sag. You're a Virgo, you need to be with the Taurus. Like all of those very simplistic elemental things, I try to refrain from because, especially in my personal experience, in my personal opinion, I like the diversity between signs, right? I don't mind shared energy between people, but as far as the sign goes, but sometimes I feel like, being a Virgo, it's like I do like a more take action, just try it type of energy. Now, sometimes it makes it makes me nearly go insane because I do like process and the plan, and I do think you should be efficient with what you do. But at the same time, sometimes I feel like in a relationship, Virgo needs that other energy that lets them know, no, it's good, let's go, let's do it. And so I have fire energy in my chart, so maybe I'm more receptive to that energy as well. But I just wanted to share that with this video, this is going to be kind of like a very general overview, but I will try to make it as specific as I can. But again, I don't typically, especially if I'm doing a reading for someone, I'm not going to tell you you're a Taurus, date a Taurus. You're a Capricorn, date a Capricorn. You're this, you date this. I think obviously when you get a reading, it's way more intricate than that because we have to look at what you need and what they need and all those different things. So this is actually a blog post I'm turning into a video. I did this blog post a couple of years ago, and now I just want to see how this applies to today in terms of relationships. So first of all, one thing I want to say is that all people have the same capability to feel the same things. Okay. Now, unless someone has a true disorder where they completely can't empathize with someone, humans of all signs and walks of life experience universal topics. Do not say, oh, this person's a so-and-so, they'll never have jealousy. This person is so confident, they'll never care about anything. That is not true. Everyone usually experiences universal feelings, like love and acts of courage or jealousy, anger, loyalty, ambition, intelligence, creativity. All of these things can be shared among signs. We don't have to debate about who's the best. However, of course, each sign has a domain that it is better with doing. It just does. But it does not mean that you're never going to be successful because you're not the top successful sign. It means you're going to be more successful in another way. Just like that in relationships. One, love is complex. It is completely something that is beyond a sign. Now, the sun sign can help for sure. You understand the core energy of someone. Oh, this person is likely going to express these traits. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like those traits. I like to be among that person. But then when we dive deeper into synastry, that's when we get into everything else. If two people have a square between one's moon and one's Pluto, well, what can that mean? That can be a problem, right? It's going to mean some type of obsession or some type of power struggle. Someone's emotions feel like somebody is the person that's always dominating over them. So it is important to understand in that regard that once we go deeper into synastry, that's when you get the real answer. But let me just go through this, okay? So Aries. Aries often falls head first in love. At first, Aries likes what it sees and it knows what it wants. And it doesn't mean they love everyone they see. It's simply that Aries is Mars energy. And Mars has an awareness of initiative. I'm not going to sit and wait. I'm not going to sit and think. I'm not going to ponder. You sit and waits. Virgo can sit and wait. Let me observe everything about you first before I decide to make a move. But Aries is not going to do that. Okay, there's a lack of hesitancy. There is not the second guessing because there can kind of come off as like strong. You can have a person who kind of shoots above their league in terms of relationships because Aries doesn't have that same mental filter that other people do in terms of overthinking things. Now, again, you may argue, well, wait a minute. What if I know an Aries, because remember, the Mercury can be 2 signs away from the sun. Well, if this is an Aries with a Gemini Mercury, yeah, that can sometimes happen. So of course you could have outliers. like that, right? But still, Aries and Gemini are sextile signs. There's a spark, there's a curiosity, there's an intrigue. So you still would likely have a person, even if they think a lot about this person, who kind of wants to make a move. And maybe that Mercury, Gemini, Aries person is more like, oh, let me talk to them first. I'm not going to ask them for a date. Let me build up a friendship. Let me really show them how interested I am in them. Now, when they're typically all in. There is a, because Aries' sense of self, Aries can be like, this person's mine. And it's not always a scary type of mind. Like sometimes Scorpios, your mind can be a little bit more scary because Scorpio also has Pluto on its side with Mars, whereas Aries is just Mars. So Aries can sometimes have that over-the-top energy at first when it comes to the relationship, what they do, they want to be around you. But again, you have to understand, even when they have the best intentions, it is about self. Aries is doing that. Aries has to consciously stop and make sure they're doing things for you. So when an Aries person is doing something for you, you should take that as a good sign, okay? Because sometimes Aries doesn't want to do it. But because they know that you're part of what they want and desire or like, they're willing to go ahead and do it. But sometimes even going above and beyond for something a partner may not even do for them. So again, a lot of times certain signs get bad reputations because we just want to use it as a meme. We want to use it as a one-liner in a TikTok video, when really there is more to some people, okay? Now, I've said before, and I'll say this again, I know it depends on the Aries person. I know an Aries person who has more Taurus energy in their chart, or the Venus in Taurus, this is probably less likely to happen. But for some Aries people, when it's over, it's over. So with all that love and all that attention, all that over-the-topness, Aries is on to the next. I've said this before in another video. That impulsive fire that was in your face dwindles down. This is usually they moved on. Now, sometimes these Venus people, let's say it's an Aries person. Aries with all this Aries energy. Venus is in Aries. Mercury is in Aries. If they moved on, they probably really already have a new person, okay? Because, again, this is not a sign that's going to sit around, wait, and ponder and wish upon a star. Aries energy is like, flame, I have to keep going, I have to keep moving, and so you do tend to see that energy show up. With Aries, it is not really, for most, it's clear whether they like you or not. The actions, what are they doing? What are they showing you? Are they considering you? Because like I said, it's not that all Aries are selfish, it's that Aries has to put conscious effort into the other, okay? Remember, their opposite sign is Libra. So with the Aries people, like, you see it because they're like, I know that I could come out of myself to let this person know that I'm interested. Could some Aries people come on too strong? Yes. Aries sometimes can come on too strong. Okay. And so when you're dating or when you're interested in someone, it's important to really understand them in terms of what does that person need. Okay. Because if a sign is more reserved, they're going to look at it like, oh, you're now breaking my comfort. If you're thinking about Aries and Cancer, if you think about Aries and Virgo, if you think about Aries and Taurus, like, though some people may like that because of whatever's already in their chart. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying a person of those signs wouldn't, but if I'm thinking in general, right? You always want to think general, and then we get more specific when we confirm we know it's general, right? That's how learning goes. So with Aries, that's just one thing to keep in mind, is that people have different styles of how they want to receive love. And I think Aries sometimes, dotes and like, I think you want this. All the fire signs kind of do that sometimes. I think you want this. I think you want that, right? So I'm going to give this thing to you, but it's like, really, is that what they want? So now, as far as the other signs go, we're not going to dive into them. One thing I also want to mention is, again, look at your other placements. Your sun is a starting point. Then there's your moon, your Venus, in terms of how you might view attraction or love. I also, as you know, I have videos that talk about Eros, that talk about synastry. So if you want to go deeper, those videos are out there, okay? So Taurus energy is rather stable. It's devoted. Taurus is comfortable, okay? It wants to be comfortable. And so when Taurus isn't comfortable, that's when you're going to see them put in the most work. Taurus people may put in the most work at first in the relationship. Okay, so at first they're trying to build, remember, builders, build up this rapport with you. And so you'll see a Taurus person typically tend to be There's a routine, especially when they're really trying to get you to notice them. There's a routine. Every day I'm going to hold the door open for you. Every day I'm going to come by and ask, okay, maybe it's, some people do get into these coworker relationships. Okay. Some people do. They're coming by and they're asking, oh, do you want me to buy you lunch? I'm about to head out, right? There's a routine established. Taurus is not coming on typically too strong, right? They want to build an understanding of, could I be comfortable with this person? Now you can, a lot of times, the sign that gets seen as picky is Virgo. Virgo nitpicked me, oh my gosh. But really, at the end of the day, Taurus can be nitpicky too, because Taurus is about taste, refined taste, things they like, things they don't like. Taurus knows this well. Even if I'm talking about Moon and Taurus, oh my goodness, a Moon and Taurus person, some of them, but it's like really clear. Okay, like my daughter's a Moon and Taurus, Libra, but she is very clear about what food she doesn't like and what food she doesn't like, right? Whereas my son is more like, he'll try almost anything, but she is very much like, no, I don't like this because this has this in it and this has that in it. And again, she doesn't have any Virgo in her chart, so I cannot blame this on Virgo. But it's like Taurus is like, I know what I like, the texture, the feel, the taste, everything. Taurus knows it trusts its own senses. And so you could have a person that is interested in you. And if you start to realize, whoa, they don't ask me if I want lunch anymore. Or, whoa, they don't ask me if I want to go to their like what's going on. You might have done something to turn them off. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there is a politeness, I would say, to both Libra and Taurus for the most part. Now, Taurus can be a little bit more abrupt and a little bit more direct than Libra sometimes, because Libra wants to be more diplomatic. But Taurus is not really going to confront you unless there's more in the chart. Now, if this person has more energy that's very vocal, very animated, maybe, they might. But for the most part, there won't be that. Taurus likes to keep things simple. And if they don't like something that you did, or they don't feel comfortable around you anymore, that's not going to work for them feeling comfortable. Okay. They don't want to keep dealing with conflict and drama and issues every day. Now, who can kind of deal with that a little bit better? Their opposite sign, Scorpio, did a little bit better with chaos. Scorpio's like, oh no, we're weathering the storm of this relationship. Oh, we're going to do it. Right. Taurus can sometimes say like, I'm not doing all that. Taurus, what did I say in my blog post? I said that Taurus, they don't like messiness, so that you won't always see the scandals or the hidden lovers, or they're going to want to show that they're not like that. Taurus is not going to want to show you that's what they're really doing, or what they're really about. Okay. If they do step out, sometimes Taurus people, it's their needs are not met. Remember, if you are not meeting someone's needs, regardless of the sign, some people are going to tell you, some people are going to show you, some people, unfortunately, are going to do things that are, not loyal, things that show that they're not, they're disloyal. So that's just something to keep in mind there. I don't think Taurus likes predictability. Even when Taurus is single and maybe they are dating two people or whatever, there's usually this kind of, I like to be predictable type of energy. I want to know what you like. I want to know what you like. They don't, the core energy, again, this is not a video for you to say, but my Taurus ex had, 14 side chicks. Like, that's possible. And I would love to see what this person's chart was, because if you're explaining something that goes beyond what is typical, you must come with the receipts of why. Because that's why I push people. Okay, yeah, that's possible. Let's talk about why. That's how we learn better in astrology. But what I'm saying is, like, they like predictability. So even if a Taurus person tries to play the game and get around with a lot of people, eventually it's going to get old to them, because they kind of do want to settle down. Now, you can see a lot of Taurus people in their youth do what everybody else is doing. They're like, okay, I think I have to get around and I have to be this or that, or society thinks I should have a bunch of girls on the side or whatever. But then as someone get older, if they're really a true Taurus energy person, they want a predictable relationship that functions. Okay. Taurus likes to stay so stationary sometimes that it doesn't want to do all this work, and dating a bunch of people is a lot of work. Okay. So sometimes Taurus wants to settle, but also they like, I think this also is a person that can sometimes be romantic, in terms of what they're able to provide for a partner. There's a need to, like, I want you to feel as comfortable as I feel. So you could sometimes see that in this person. Now, the stereotype of the stinginess or being uptight with money is to preserve themselves. And if you who know tarot, the Four of Pentacles reminds me of Taurus energy. I'm keeping it for myself. until I have someone to give it to. Because if you know tarot, then the 5 is anxiety. Oh my gosh, I have to lose my money, or I have to I have to part with my money. That's Taurus, right? But then the 6 is generosity. So you have different types of Tauruses, of course, especially when we break down decans, okay? But if you do see that they're in love or they're in a relationship, there is this doting. I want you to have things that you need. I want you to have what you appreciate. I know what you like. I'm going to give it to you. You know what I mean? That type of energy sometimes. So Gemini. I mean, I think it's very transparent that Gemini needs mental stimulation a lot, whether it's friendships or relationships. Gemini. Now, is every Gemini a social butterfly? No. You know, you could have a person, maybe I'm talking to you and you're like, I'm a Gemini rising and my Gemini energy is very dominant in my chart. They're friendly, but will be drawn to people who can feel their need to learn and gain ideas. If you're not willing to engage in a conversation with Gemini, it depends on the person. Some will keep talking to you. Because remember, Gemini, the Gemini that creates connection with other people, you would want to look at what else is in their chart, because that's not really what Gemini is trying to do. They're trying to disseminate ideas. Whereas Libra is, I'm trying to create a relationship with you. And Aquarius is, I'm trying to create a community with you. So the Gemini because remember, Gemini's community comes through thought, it comes through schooling, or it comes through peers, like people who you have to be around, neighborhood, all those things is Gemini. Gemini, you know, neighborhood is the 3rd house. Gemini is associated with the 3rd house. So the point is, Gemini is trying to disseminate information. That Gemini needs to feel stimulated. I'm not trying to connect you. So you might think, oh, this Gemini guy likes me. He talks to me every day, but he might talk to everybody every day, right? Really what you're going to see differently is when Gemini is interested in what you have to say about you, because Gemini can talk about ideas all day. We can talk about the weather. We can talk about politics. We can talk about whatever, because Gemini is willing to kind of take almost anything and kind of really, you know, dive into really pondering all different pieces of it, right? But not to come up with an answer like Virgo might do, right? But you have to understand they need an attentive partner who's open to new adventures. The Gemini 3rd sign, the Zodiac, associated with like the teen years. This is a person curious. You have to stimulate them. Oh, let's go to this festival. Oh, let's go to this, you know, event. Oh, let's go see the museum or whatever. Like, that's how you get a Gemini interested. Now, again, it depends on what your type of Gemini is interested in. Some like poetry and books. Some like, you know, you might have a Gemini sun person with the 5th house energy. Maybe they like the theater, right? They like to, you know, dramas and plays or something like that. You have to find what they like and then talk about it. Because then that's how you're going to draw the person in. They're going to feel, we need to be mentally equals. Gemini eventually, they'll entertain almost anyone in the conversation. Okay. But it's like, we need to be intellectual equals, because at the end of the day, Gemini's talking likely to everybody. And so you can't think just because they're talking to you that you're special. All right. Because that's what they need. They need it's like Libra. Libra tries to create a good rapport with everybody. You might not feel special sometimes because Libra is nice to everybody. The nice Libras are. So the point is, though, is that's how you'll kind of know if this is a, you know, romantic relationship potentially, is because you'll see that. You know, Gemini does like to roam. They don't like to stay stationary. So, you know, yes, for some people that does mean a difficult time settling down. But for people who've settled down who are Geminis, I know them. I know people who've settled down who are Geminis. So the idea of like, oh, they can't, that is completely not true. Now, these Geminis do tend to have Taurus energy in their chart, is to be honest, the ones that I'm thinking of. But you know, Gemini needs you to, they need to feel like that we can bond intellectually, right? They often, you have to understand, like in early adulthood, many Geminis struggle with being with one partner. That is because they get accused of flirting. Gemini gets accused of flirting. Libra gets accused of flirting. I'm not sure what other signs. As I go through it, I'll tell y'all who. But some of these signs get accused of flirting just for talking to people. Okay, but with the right person, they show that they have a sense of loyalty through the relationship that allows for them to have freedom. And here's what freedom is. It doesn't have to mean having an open relationship unless that's what you're into. Gemini is like, let that Gemini partner do something new. They have a new idea. Let them explore that. Now, as long as it doesn't hinder your relationship, if they want to take $10,000 out of the joint account, that could be, whoa, what's going on here? We need to talk about this. But if Gemini simply wants to try a new class or go do this or go do that, or they let them. A partner, like, why are you doing that? You just did this yesterday. Like, all the lecturing stuff makes any air sign feel like you're stifling them. Who doesn't like to be stifled? Fire and air. Because the other sides can sometimes see certain things, not the tone I just said, because that's a little dominating, but some signs can see that as, oh, this person cares for me. They want me to keep going the course. I'm going to keep going, right? That's like a water or earth thing. Okay, this person's caring. But the fire and air signs see it as you're trying to limit my freedom. And now I'm going to push back and go to someone else that allows for me to have freedom. I got to get out of here. Gemini, I got to get out of here. I'm leaving. Like, we're having this argument. You're not supporting me. I'm headed out. I'm going to go talk to my friend down the street, right? Like you don't want to stifle the creativity of Gemini, because that's what keeps them going, the possibilities. In fact, all the mutable signs are about different possibilities in some regard, okay? So, and again, check your other placements. This is not at all saying sun sign astrology only, but I do want to make sure that, you know, we get the energy first, as I said before, and then we break it down. Cancer. So typically Cancer people want to form a deep attachment to the person they're in a relationship with, like they want it. And they want to, you know, they're always looking for potential ways in which this person shows them that they are in some way safe to be around. You know, Cancer does tend to be one of the more cautious signs, and their caution is due to the emotional toll that it can take on them if they devote so much to a relationship and then someone is not really receptive, or it doesn't work out. They're, you know, the ones who are family oriented sometimes can, like, they're looking early on to see if you're family oriented. This could be a person who's inviting you to the family functions, events early on. You know, like, oh, we've been together for 4 months. I don't know, maybe that's enough time. I don't know. But, you know, they're inviting you to family functions. They want you to become a part of it. And I think that's kind of, now, no, don't bring just anybody around your family, but at a certain point in a relationship, perhaps you should, because if family is important to you, you do want to see how your partner interacts with your family. And some people, family may not be important, and so you might not even need to do all that, but that's just something to keep in mind there. And sometimes Cancers will carry the bulk of the emotions in a relationship. Like they carry the weight of the emotions in the situation. Now that means that it's important for Cancer not to get with partners who don't have that same level of emotions to give. You know, Cancer, you know, because you are so, your environment is super important to you, right? Like some signs can just walk into an environment and make it theirs. Cancer likes to feel at home. Cancer likes to feel safe. So if you're in a relationship with a person who's not willing to make that house feel like a home or make you feel safe and comfortable, that can be an issue. And if you care too much, then you're holding on to this person. A lot of Cancer energy people, perhaps for some, is holding on to someone because they're your childhood sweetheart or high school sweetheart. Oh, we've known each other since we were 10 and we started dating at 15, and, you know, we've been together. You know, those type of relationships are great if it works. Don't get me wrong. But when people are holding on to something because of the past, with Cancer, sometimes that can be a problem, right? Now, what I would say is Cancer energy does tend to show they care. When they care about someone, you're going to see it is not this self-centered type of energy. Now, Cancer expects for you to do something for them in return, typically. Cancer can get really upset, and there can sometimes be ranges of discomfort. There can be this issue of moodiness with Cancer when they're upset with you, right? And it's because Cancer is not particularly good at masking their true emotions. Cancer is not particularly good with lying, because sooner or later that real emotion is going to come out in how they present. Okay. And so unlike the curiosity of Gemini, Cancer's need for security means they will entertain a relationship. They will rarely entertain a relationship just because it's interesting. It's because it has some type of emotional connection to them. You know, you can have some people like, oh yeah, I'm with this person, we're from the same hometown, and they like bonding with people that have a similar story or similar background to them, right? That sometimes they'll try to salvage a relationship at the expense of what's best for them. So it's really important for them not to become so, you know, the crap. I'm going to go back into my shell. I'm comfortable here. But like, how does Cancer also use that in ways to bring in positive relationships that actually nurture what the Cancer needs? Okay, because if a person understands what their Cancer partner needs, you're good. You're tending to their needs. You know what they like. You know how they feel. You know they don't feel good, but you're acknowledging that they have feelings. And if you can do that, and again, some Cancer people don't want to be acknowledged as emotional, but you still can use the same tactic with them. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, they're loyal and nurturing sometimes. They're loyal to what they think is important. That's one thing I do want to share. The loyalty, it's different than Scorpio, energy or some other signs. They're loyal to what they think in the moment is important. So if they think something's important in the moment, they're going to go all the full way out. If something makes them uncomfortable or shakes them up, they're not really worried about that. Okay. And so this is awareness is very important. They are very receptive. They're very, very, intuitive about how you're treating them. Cancer knows if there's a shift, something's different today. They know you. So if you have a Cancer partner and they know you, that is a strength. They know you in and out. And because of that, you're going to feel like this person really understands me. Okay. They take things very personal sometimes, and sometimes can react in unpredictable ways when they're hurt. So if you're in a relationship with a Cancer person, yes, this is different than being with a Gemini, especially if the person has a lot of Cancer energy within the chart. You have to understand that, right? And so what did I write? I did this like a couple years ago. I said this blog, so I'm just turning it into a video. I said they have high expectations for how they are treated. Their awareness of how you make them feel is strong. Due to this, they take betrayal very personal and sometimes can react in unpredictable ways when hurt. This is when you see the vindictive, manipulative side you never knew existed. So Cancer, you have to understand, I'm not saying every Cancer is like this. It's not at all what I'm saying. I know Cancers who are not like this. But what I'm saying is that Cancer energy is not what you think. A lot of times people think, oh, somebody's just emotional, I can run all over them. No. Cancer is cardinal. So there is a reactive type of nature that they have to sometimes be careful of as well. Because remember, the idea of nurturing something is so it can grow. You're not nurturing something so you can destroy it, right? But again, when you see some of the opposite sign pairings, you should understand, like when a Cancer is really mad, right? Sometimes you can see like even almost like a Capricorn type of nature come out in them, right? But in terms of just the sense of loyalty, when they care about something or when something is theirs, there does tend to be follow through when they actually want to make the relationship work. So that's just something just to keep in mind about but again, there's this, feeling of being understood with them. Leo energy likes to admit love. So there's usually an open approach to their relationship in a sense that they don't hide it. Oh, yep, we've been together for 2 months, 2 weeks. Look, this is my girl. This is my guy, whatever. They may do grandiose things at first to get your attention, but the things are to show I'm the best. I'm the best option for you. Look at me, and they can't say, look at me. So they'll do something and be like, you'll walk outside, maybe you work with them or they're a neighbor, I don't know. And they're like, oh yeah, here's my car. You take a ride in my car sometimes, or, especially the little charming ones might say, oh yeah, I can get you on just like this. And, if it works out, right? Like Leo, but it's charming. Typically, Leo, I'll be honest, and I know I'm biased, but like Leo energy is more charming in some ways sometimes. And like, it doesn't come off as creepy energy. A lot of Leos, whether you like them or love them, whatever, they're not as creepy. Some people can be in terms of their flirting because there's a smile and there's a happiness. Now, some Leos come off too strong and are narcissistic. Yes, you sometimes can see that part of them. So I'm not going to sit here and just be a cheerleader for Leo, but Leo's not afraid to tell the world who they love, especially if they can brag on this person. And I think that sometimes is good for some people need acknowledgement. And sometimes some people in relationships, they do a lot for people, but they don't make that person feel special. And I think Leo, a well-balanced Leo person, again, you have to look at the sun, the degree, the houses, all of that, typically is going to be proud of who they're with, who they end up with usually needs to be extraordinary in some way, really attractive or good dresser or really successful or really well connected. Like Leo does tend to like a partner that they can take around and be proud of. Okay. So that's just something just to keep in mind, that presentation is important to them. Not in the same way it is for Virgo. Virgo presentation is important to be clean, to be neat, to be, approachable. Leo's presentation is to shine, sun, energy. Okay. They also might like a joyful partner, like somebody fun. Hey, yeah, we're going to have my birthday party. Like Leo, and I'm gonna be honest, that's why I don't do, you cannot be with this sign, right? I don't do that because some people can bring out certain things in you. You get what I'm saying? I know, I knew of a Virgo Leo pair where the Leo brought out the fun part of the Virgo. Now the Virgo had Leo energy in the chart. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot do these boiler point, you know, and I get it. It's easy to put a meme up. It's easy. I also put posts up on Instagram, but remember, I can only put up so much on a little post, right? So I get it. We like easy, quick things, but we have to take that as the general and then get more specific. Okay, so and get caught up in this whole power couple theme, similar to Capricorn. And they can project it on their partner, and that could be a problem when Leo is focused so much more on the presentation of the relationship and they're not taking care of the emotional aspect of it. So that's where you can get a Cancer Leo. Let's say it's a Cancer person and a Leo. That Cancer wants to feel like you're listening to them, that you know what they need, that you're paying attention to the fact that, hey, you know, I want to spend quality time with you, but Leo wants to go out and entertain these events. So sometimes the social aspect they can get caught up in that. But sometimes the openness of the Leo, like I said, can get a shy partner out of their shell. That's why I don't believe you want to only say, I only want to date this one sun sign. That's just not realistic. And so, you know, Leo can be giving, you know, sometimes they can give what they view as important. They don't focus as intently on the other person's true needs and desires, which is what I said also with Aries, of being careful of Leo. Yes, you're successful. You have these things, but what does that person really want? Because Leo shines and Leo likes what they can see, but that person might need more emotional attention in a relationship, and you have to kind of learn to dive deeper into that and not just only thinking of yourself, because you do sometimes can have a Leo energy that's egotistical and it thinks it knows best for everybody, and it's like, I know what everybody needs, but it's like, what if that's not what that person needs and you haven't communicated with them? Okay, so though Leo is great at communicating what it thinks, Leo is not always great at communicating with understanding what other people internally feel. Okay, but they can, you know. Virgo views love in a very practical way, in a compartmentalized way, okay? Meaning, like, you know, they prefer to build partnerships that are related to each person performing some function of the relationship. Virgo likes to know, Virgo can get really caught up in roles in a relationship, right? You're the one that, you know, you call every Friday, and then, you know, I'm the one that does this. I'm the one that cooks on Wednesday. Like Virgo, if you're trying to get with a Virgo, help them see that you're organized and you do what you say you're going to do. Virgo sometimes can get very high strung with that. Virgo can get very high strung doing things the way it's supposed to be done. No, what's going on? You're supposed to call me Friday at 8 p.m. You always call me on Friday 8 p.m. And the past 2 times you haven't done that. Right? Some Virgos can get down like that. But I also think Virgo as a sign of service is typically a helpful partner. You won't typically leave a Virgo relationship without being helped in some way. That Virgo showed you something you did. That Virgo helped you out that one time. That Virgo gave you advice. You're typically not going to leave a relationship. Now, whether you want the advice or not, that's a whole different story. Virgo is very detail-oriented, often making them very specific about why they chose their partner, even if other people don't see the reason. Before I even did this video, I was thinking about something. I'm gonna tell you why. So I was thinking about it because I was on Instagram rolling through something, and someone had posted these old pictures of Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. And somebody was posting about like how Ralph Tresvant, and like everybody was surprised that you know, Ralph Tresvant from New Edition, who was Bobby's you know, in the group with Bobby, the New Edition. So at the time, you know, I think they were on tour, you know, whatever they were doing. And he was surprised. He was like, Bobby and Whitney, what? And this is his friend, right? Bobby's his friend. But he didn't realize they were really together until the one time he met them at a hotel or something like that. But anyway, point is, people were so shocked. But when you really read into Whitney was kind of forced into being America's sweetheart image. That's really, Whitney was fiery. Whitney was bold. Whitney was direct. Whitney was immensely talented. I don't even know if we can hear a voice like that again, right? But Whitney and Bobby had things in common. They had that song. For those of you old enough, remember, we have something in common. The point I'm making is that people always are with someone for a reason. And it doesn't really matter why you don't think they should be. Now, again, if someone's in a dangerous situation, that's a problem. But people are always with someone for a reason, even if you can't see it. Now, this has nothing to do with Virgo because she was not a Virgo. Whitney's not a Virgo, was not a Virgo. But even if people can't see why a Virgo is with someone, they're with them for a reason. They know exactly why they're with them. And it might make their life more functional in some way. But you can't see it because maybe you're so focused on power couples and what a relationship is supposed to look like, right? Now, you could have some Virgo people, men and the women, sometimes want to fix and help everybody, especially when you have different Virgo combinations, the Virgo Cancer combination, maybe, you know, I'm trying to help you, the Virgo Libra, oh, I can't leave you, you know, okay, I can't leave you, we're going to fix this and work this together, right? Like Virgo sometimes can be too, look at things like people as a project. People are not projects. A project can be fixed. That can be maybe resolved. If a person is not willing to change their behavior, there's nothing you can do. Because, you know, Virgo and Pisces want to heal, but you can't heal someone who doesn't see they have a wound in the first place, Virgo. Okay, Virgo energy people. And maybe you did this earlier in life. So some of the things I'm saying, you might say, oh yeah, I used to be like that, but I'm not anymore. And I would say like warm, fuzzy declarations of love may not come from the Virgo as much, but they express their love by making your life easier. Now, again, Virgo, it depends on what else is in the chart. If you have a Virgo with the Mercury and Leo, and it's in a prominent, it's in the 5th house, right? They're Aries rising or something. They're more expressive, maybe type of Virgo. So we would look there. All right. But communication is the utmost importance to Virgo, and that's the way to get to Virgo's heart. Okay. If what did I write? It's a crazy. Oh, if there is a heart under the nonchalant demeanor, there is a heart under the nonchalant demeanor you trust. Yes. Some of the people you think are not sensitive actually are, but they have been taught to not show their sensitivities because people don't appreciate it. And Virgo is very logical. And Virgo, you don't have to tell the Virgo twice or 3 times. Virgo's going to say, learn from left, got it. Yep. Virgo energy could be Virgo rising, you know, Virgo moon, whatever. But Virgo's like, let me process this so I know how to deal with this again. Okay, then I'm not doing that again, right? So understand that everybody has emotions, but they express them in different ways, okay? Communication, though, is important. Virgo's reserved nature typically means they don't venture much outside of a relationship. They're mutable, so they sometimes change for the benefit of improving their relationship, okay? But Virgo tends to know what they want and why they are with someone or in a relationship, okay? So if a Virgo is with you, please trust and believe you have a specific function. And I don't mean it in a user way, because Virgo is not really about using you, but it's about what works. You do this, I do that. This is the functionality of the relationship. I'm with you because I need this particular type of person. And Virgo does tend to need a very particular type of person. Most Virgos who have Virgo energy, like a lot of Virgo energy, like if you're a Virgo sun and Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising, Virgo moon, you're a Virgo that has 6 house placements. Most Virgos energy people, they have quirks. They have little things specific. Oh no, don't do it like that. Because to the Virgo mind, it helps us process like how something's getting done. So we think ahead, especially the Virgos that think ahead. No. If you put it like this, then this is going to happen. This is going to spill. This is going to fall. No, arrange those cans like this, right? That is Virgo. And in Virgo's mind, it makes sense, but it doesn't always make sense to you. And so Virgo, sometimes we do have to chill back from the being so specific because other people can't see why we are sometimes. But if you are with a Virgo person, just appreciate that side of them because you will benefit from it. Virgo's ability to see like, oh no, if we do it like this, this is what might happen. You might want to fix that. It doesn't sound right. That Virgo is usually going to be right. So you can benefit from these people. You could benefit if you're a Virgo, you know, maybe work on not being so, you know, specific sometimes because sometimes it is overwhelming to others. But if you're with a Virgo person, I bet you in some way they have helped you. And in some way, something they have done has helped your life flow a little bit better. Okay. Now, do you have toxic Virgos? Yes. But again, there is a video about that. If you're trying to hear the toxic traits of a sign, go to that video. Okay. Libra. Now, Libra values relationships, whether they're in a serious relationship or not. Let's see. Most Libras, what have I seen this morning? I've seen this a lot in Libras. Mostly in men. I'm just going to be very honest. Mostly in men. That Libra always has to have someone they feel they can be with or around. So they're not in a relationship, but they're talking to somebody or there's somebody they're interested in. That's typically sometimes a Libra thing, right? Now, Libras will keep the same partner. Some may switch partners often, but Libra needs to feel a sense of, I have somebody that I can connect to. They don't really like to be alone. Now, again, even if they're not in a romantic situation, Libra's typically going to want or have somebody, a confidant, a best friend, right? Something. in the gap of having a serious relationship, there's usually a person that fills that role. Okay, because Libra thrives off that human connection mentally. Remember, Venus rules Libra, but Libra is also an air sign. We have to understand this is a mental thing, right? Now, Libra can get into these pseudo relationships with people, though Libra being careful of Libra. Like, people like Libras for the most part. Like Libra energy, because they're going to try to find a way to relate to you. And Libras who are charming are very much so. And Libras who are nice and friendly, even if it's just surface, because everybody got issues. Every sign, everyone has issues. I don't sing anybody's praises. But what I'm saying is Libra can become so alluring to people that you have to back down, because then it's like, well, I'm not looking for anything serious. Or you're with the Libra long term, you've been in a marriage, or you want to get married, you've been together for like 5 years. And Libra's like, well, I don't know if I'm ready yet. That's definitely something that can happen with Libra. I don't know if I'm ready yet. Libra can fear what happens if I don't have that freedom anymore, that freedom because Libra can get really intrigued and interested in different people. And so sometimes what can happen is like, but I like this person. And when I'm with this person, I like this. And when I'm with this person, I like that. And so sometimes, you have to understand that. But I think the best thing that sometimes about them is that Libra energy does tend to make you feel heard and make you feel seen, because Libra is not... Surface level Libras exist, yes, but when you get to someone intellectually, there is more of this awareness of like, I'm not judging you because you have a different opinion than me. And that sometimes can be the case with certain other signs, or there can be other signs. Like sometimes Aquarius can just make you feel flat out stupid. Like some Aquarius energy can make you feel flat out stupid if you don't have the same opinion or the same level of understanding where they come from. Even though Aquarius can have a variety of views, Aquarius can sometimes have that sarcastic kind of tone. And so some people Virgo and Aquarius, we can go back and forth. It's not a problem. And I have Jupiter in Aquarius, but like for some people that's an affront. For some people that makes them uncomfortable. Like, Aquarius and a Pisces, like that sometimes can be like, wow, you're hurting my feelings. Like, what are you truly trying to say? But with Libra, it's like, no, I'm trying to come to your level. No, let's talk. I'm gonna come to where you want to be. And Libra knows how to really blend a good world of like, let us both come together and kind of, have this conversation and hear one another. Now, similar to Gemini, Libra can sometimes come off as flirtatious, due to the desire to relate to almost everyone. You see someone, oh, we'll have that in common with them. And I don't think there's always a consciousness in all Libras. Some Libras aren't even into astrology. Some Libras don't understand, but this is what they're doing. In almost every person, I need to find something I'm relating to, because I want to feel harmony. Because if I don't feel harmony, I feel chaos. And I don't want to feel that, because that's Scorpio's world. I can't deal with these feelings. I can't deal with not liking anyone. I can't deal with that person not liking me. So sometimes Libras can go over the top. And if you're in a relationship with a Libra, one, I think what happens is this is not a person. If you get in a conflict with Libra, they typically don't want to be in a conflict with you, and they'll kind of get over it in a day. Unless they have an intense amount of Scorpio energy or other signs of the chart, they're not really holding on to the argument. Even a Libra with Virgo energy is not really holding on. They'll remember what you did. Remember, Virgo is mutable. So if you start to make something make sense to Virgo, they're kind of okay, I'm over that, right? And then, the desire for balance and harmony, your partner needs to feel like you are listening to them, that you're open. They want to feel liked. They want to feel appreciated. They want to listen to, okay? Libra's lack of comfort with confrontation can sometimes be why Libras stay in relationships way past their expiration date. They don't want to create conflict or drama. And so it's important for Libra people, I say often in readings, is about like, reciprocity. Are you getting what you need from the relationship? Because sometimes Libra can also be very, I'm putting so much energy into making sure this works. And, I'm doing this because she needs money for her loans. And I'm doing this because of this. And it's like, whoa, okay. But you're unhappy because you don't feel like your needs are being met. Because even if I'm talking about Libra, what's that Libra's moon? You know what I mean? That Libra has a Cancer moon. Ooh, that's a square. The sun versus the moon. So wait. this person on the outside is showing these Libra traits, but on the inside, they're sad because they're not getting their own needs met. So that's important for Libra. And so if you have a Libra partner, understand that if they're smiling behind the scenes, or they're smiling, like really understanding what they're really going through, because Libra is not going to lead with conflict, right? But sometimes you have to help a Libra person realize, no, you can lead with conflict. Oh, they're disrespecting you at work. Oh, they're doing this. Right. And I don't mean to be confrontational or unprofessional or, egregious and belligerent. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if somebody is, Libras need to like stand up to their family, so you're in a relationship with a Libra, you're going to benefit a lot because, Libra energy, you sometimes you're like, I don't want all them people with all the drama. I don't want to deal with that. And Libra can provide that kind of peace in some ways, but also sometimes you have to help Libra, or you have to have a boundaries with Libra, because Libra boundaries. Hey, your family keeps borrowing money. We need to save up for our kids' college fund. What's going on? We need to have boundaries. Sometimes you have to show them those. Now, again, that depends on the Libra decan. You have the Libra decan person who has more of this kind of authoritative nature and how they deal with problems. So this is not every single Libra, but just something to think about. Now, Scorpio. Well, with Scorpio, of course, I'm sure y'all get tired of the same thing, the reputation. I'm scared, people are scared. I'm not scared of Scorpio. I have Scorpio energy in my chart, and it's a fixed sign. It's a water sign. And so it feels so intensely that it's a tough shell to protect the emotions. Okay. So if you are with the Scorpio, get to know them, be consistent, and I'm sure they will show you the real inside of them. Scorpio is burning to feel a connection. And it's different than what Libra may want to feel. Scorpio is burning to feel a deep connection to you that can break past the superficial. But you cannot get that way by being inconsistent. That's not going to work. Scorpio won't necessarily go out of their way now to show grandiose shows of love like Leo or Libra in the beginning. Look at them Libras and them Aries in the beginning, okay? Those opposite signs have a similar approach. Their demeanor is different, but I'm not going to go into detail right now with that. Okay, so here's the thing. So with Scorpio, they're not going to do all that, but Scorpio might do something that helps you develop. So like, let's say you're in a long-term relationship and your friend, it's Valentine's Day. I mean, let me not use Valentine's Day as an excuse because people tend to buy people the same things. But let's say like a Leo, okay, it's your birthday, I'm going to get you all these things. But Scorpio's like, I know my partner. Let me get you, I'm going to help you invest some money into a business you've been talking about, or I'm going to give you a gift of this to help pay off your student loans or something like that. Like Scorpio shows it cares by investing in you. I'm going to do something for you that may not cost me anything, or I'm going to do something for you that helps you develop and grow. That is how you see if a Scorpio is really into you, right? Now, what I would also say is that Scorpio, they need their privacy. They might feel withdrawn. Okay, so a Leo partner wants everybody to see. Scorpio, do not go. Now, again, around private parties, right? Or private, or people they trust maybe. Like, don't go tell your whole business to everybody. Scorpio doesn't want a partner that's going to go tell everybody all their intimate business, right? And so it's important that you don't break the Scorpio's trust in that regard, okay? Now, if they've chosen to love you, it's difficult for them to stop. It's difficult for Scorpio energy to stop. And the thing is, when people understand energy, you're going to understand, well, where is Scorpio in your chart? So you might be listening to this, but you're not a Scorpio. I'm not a Scorpio, but I have 2 placements in Scorpio in the 3rd house. And I see how it's hard for me to stop. When I learn something, I want to know more. I want to, I want to deep embed it into me that I understand this information, right? So that's how it is when these people love. It feels like that, okay? It's deep. Now it's not. And again, you have to understand that like with Scorpio, it's fixed energy. If they love you, they'll be there for you even when you mess up. So you have to understand that whatever Scorpio chooses, they're going to try to mold and make that to be something that can be successful and something that can work. But when Scorpio cares, they're going to brave difficulties in order to make the relationship, to preserve the relationship. Like I said, that's why Scorpio can attract more drama than Taurus, because Taurus might be like, out, this makes me uncomfortable, bye. Now, sometimes that's needed, but sometimes some signs, they leave at the first sign of trouble. That's not really what Scorpio was going to do. But Scorpio, you want to make sure you're not with a partner who brings all that just stress and drama, because you can draw and attract people who see you get your stuff together. Scorpio, some of the Scorpio people who you don't brood and get upset about everything. Some of the Scorpio people are very successful because Scorpio knows how to manage and handle things that come that are difficult. Pluto and Mars will you. It's like life is a battle. I'm just going to do it. Now, you could be really vulnerable and sensitive under the surface, and that's why I said a partner needs to get to know you, because that Scorpio person has some wounds. The Scorpio person has some things that have happened under the surface. And so once you get into a serious relationship with someone, it is important to listen and figure out what that is. It's also important for Scorpio to release those things as well. Now, a hurt Scorpio can take a long time to recover, and it can lead to a dismissive attitude towards relationships. So if you have Scorpios that are like anti-love, anti-relationships, pessimistic, it's usually because there's a hurt and they're afraid of getting hurt again. Why? Because it tends to be depth. Now, again, I know somebody's probably going to have a story about like, oh my God, you know, my psycho Scorpio ex did this and that. Yes, I'm sure that happens. But also want us to be aware that there are Scorpios who have healthy relationships. Okay, and I know some of them. And of course, you can never truly know the ins and outs of someone's relationships unless you're truly in it. But it is capable to have healthy relationships. But again, it's about Scorpio self-awareness and also Scorpio understanding enough about themselves to admit they have feelings. When you don't, and the feeling, Scorpio, the feeling you feel can't always be intense. I tell a lot of clients to have a lot of Scorpio energy. All right, where is there opportunities in your chart for you to also release this pressure and intensity that everything has to be? Okay, like how do you that's already going to be there. If something's in your chart, it's there. You don't have to worry. Oh no, if I stop being so serious, if I stop being so intense and wanting power in this relationship, I'm going to be taken advantage of. No, usually not. But how do you also lessen that and just allow yourself to be without things need to be so? And that's when I would say like a Scorpio tap into your opposite sign energy, which is Taurus. Sagittarius, now this is a rumor sign. They can't settle down. That's the rumor. Now the reason isn't the same as Gemini. Gemini is the curiosity. Sagittarius is the experience. Sagittarius is interested typically in the experiences of other people. And because Sagittarius' signature energy is life experience and goalie to get experience, it can sometimes manifest in the dating profile of these people, right? So they're smitten with someone because they're so interesting. They have an interesting story. Let me go see what this is about. Oh, this person's from a different culture. Oh, I'm interested. I haven't dated someone from this culture before. Like sometimes you can get that with Sagittarius where it's like they want to kind of sample the world, literally in terms of going places and traveling, but then dating profile as well. Some people. Now, the people who aren't like that, what they need is Sagittarius needs a partner who has an open-minded approach to the world or the way life is. Sagittarius needs a partner who's willing to be adventurous. They don't want boring. What now again, is boring and predictable bad? No. And is predictable boring? Not necessarily. I know people who are predictable, but they're not boring. But the way they live their life may be boring to some people, right? So Sagittarius partner does need adventure. If you're starting to talk to a Sagittarius person and you really like them, and you might want to throw a bone out there of like when they ask you about what you like to do, and if you recognize that this is a Sag person who does like adventure, I really don't go places, but I would like to one day. I would like to go here. Then they'll start talking about themselves and they'll see that you're open-minded. Whatever the Sagittarius person has found as their mission and their life purpose, you can't disrespect that. You can't, that's really not going to work because they're so tied to that. So for example, if a Sagittarius person is religious, because remember, Sagittarius is linked to beliefs. You don't have to be religious, but Sagittarius is associated with this concept of I have something I believe that drives the way I live. You would want to make sure, like when you're talking to this person, like, you can't handle religion, don't date them if they're religious Sagittarius, because they're going to go extreme. If you can't handle spiritual Sagittarius, don't date them. If you can't handle an adventurous Sagittarius, if you can't handle blunt people, don't go for them. And then again, what I mean is don't write off all Sagittariuses. I would say, do you see those traits in those people? Because a lot of people tell, oh, I won't date this and I won't date that and I won't date this. And by the time you get through their list, there's nobody left for them to date. There's nobody. And you have to look at yourself and ask yourself, are you perfect? right? We all need people to accept our flaws as well. And I think some people forget that in the quest for the perfect, man or woman. Like you forget that you're not perfect either. And so I'm not saying you should lower your standards, but I'm saying sometimes we're too specific. Oh, he can't be a sun Scorpio. He can't have a moon in Taurus. He can't have any degrees between 4 and 6. He cannot have this. He cannot have a north node in Libra. He cannot have this. He cannot have that. And it's like, whoa, well, who's left? Yeah, right? Now, all Sagittarius are not going to want to travel the world, but they are going to want to broaden their horizons. And again, like I said, it's through life purpose. It's through their mission. And so it is important for you to buy into that. If you don't believe in what that person's life is built around, the relationship is not going to work, and they're not going to feel supported by you. And Sagittarius is fire sign. They will go on to who they feel is more open, accepting, and intrigued into how their lifestyle is, because lifestyle is important to Sagittarius. And so, that is one way to really look and see if they fit, if they're similar, right? Now, also, like I said, they're very direct at times. You have to be willing to deal with it. Sagittarius do not hold back. And some Sagittarius are very blunt, but usually they're right. Now, you do have Sagittarius on occasion who exaggerate a lot, who may embellish. You're typically going to see that if there's any type of negative aspect between Mercury and Jupiter, perhaps, or something else in the chart where it's hard for Sagittarius to be objective. That could also be Sag in the 3rd house, right? But it's important if you're a sensitive person, but also this doesn't mean you can't date them. It just means you got to realize that that's just who they are. If you are a person who's Sag and you love somebody, you have to learn also how to turn that down sometimes and understand your partner's more sensitive nature. Guess what, Sag? You might be able to bust it up and cuss and do all this stuff with your friends, because friendships tend to sometimes have a different vibe than relationships, right? Because, we say a lot to our friends. Sometimes we don't come say to our partner, depending on what the topic is, right? Because they just might have more shared experience with certain things. But when it comes to our relationships, you can show that more sensitive side of yourself. You can be more conscious of how you're speaking to people in your life that you love who are more sensitive, especially if it's within a relationship. Okay. So also I said that many Sagittarius could benefit from creating boundaries and putting limitations on who they accept in their lives, though, because the Sagittarius who do like to settle down, the Sagittarius who do like commitment, I said the same thing about Aquarius. I love and Pisces. I love everybody, right? Now it's a difference, right? Because Aquarius doesn't say I love everybody. Aquarius I accept, right? But Sagittarius is like everybody has a meaning. Yes, everyone can matter. Everybody, yes. But the problem is sometimes Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and we're dealing with beyond limits, beyond our horizons. And so Sagittarius does benefit from knowing who you're with and why. And that way you're not accepting someone just because they're interesting. And then you realize down the line, wait, our lifestyles do not work together. Whoa. You can get caught up in that affair, get caught up in that initial attraction. It doesn't really stand the test of time for what you truly need. Now, Capricorn. I would say Capricorn tends to go, I wrote, by the book of romance more than any other sign in terms of courtship and how you do things in the process. And, oh, it's a date. Let's arrange the time. Okay. Like the organization of it, right? It's like a business meeting almost. Not to say all Capricorns are like, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying Capricorn expects there to be some level of like consistency and tradition in how you date. No, we're not Netflixing and chill. We need to go to a place. So if you're trying to entertain a Capricorn, like, one, understand the person. So if you know the Capricorn's moon and you know their Mercury, you'll know other things you can do, right? But I'm saying is like they're before they invest in you emotionally, they're going to want to first see like how you show up on paper. Do you do what you say you're going to do? Okay, we're going at this time. We're doing this. Are you dressed right for the occasion? Because Capricorn can get caught up in that reputation and people see me. Different reason than Leo. But look, they're not particularly emotional at first, but they understand the importance of the process, right? And so some Capricorns, now again, could you have some that strain relationships? Yes, but many of them are still going to want to look good on paper. And so the thing is, most Capricorns are not visibly going from relationship to relationship, okay? Now, if they are, they're putting a stake at the door of like, no, there's boundaries here. We're not really together. They don't really see the point of playing the mind game unless they want something, Okay, so if Capricorn wants something, if there's an end goal, there might be some mind games there. But because it's about control. But if Capricorn isn't really worrying about the outcome with you, there is going to be a brother. We're not together. This is just, fun. This is not a serious relationship. It's only physical. Capricorn is going to be very direct, especially if the person has Mercury in Capricorn as well. So don't take offense. It's just how I don't think that's always bad, because I feel like so many other people fluff things up. They lie, they twist everything. That if Capricorn telling you straight to your face, like, hey, you're cool, but I really don't want nothing serious at all. That's a benefit. That's a person being direct and honest with you. But anyway, they will only give their heart to someone they feel will take care of it, because Capricorn doesn't initially want to do emotions, right? But Capricorn wants someone that they feel fits within the way they want their world to look. So it's like, I want the house, and I want the marriage, and I want the kids, and I want the this and the that. So it is important for Capricorn relationship or person who is a Capricorn to, like, do you both have the same vision for what success down the road looks like? Do you have similar goals, right? Because the Capricorn person is typically going to have goals. No, this is not usually a sign where you're sitting at the dinner table. Okay, you guys are 30 or 28, 35. And this person, like, I don't know what I want from life. No, they typically know. They typically know what they want. And so you kind of have to see if you fit within that, because that Capricorn person is going to go do it with or without you. This is not a sacrificial sign. They're not going to typically forego what they need to feel that they are successful, because the Capricorn person who is successful typically has been working since they were a kid to do this. This is the person who's been working since they were young to be somebody. And so you're not going to get in the way. Now, I don't mean that to say that Capricorns don't care. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that they often can be smart enough, some of them, to hold off on certain things until they meet the right person, because they know, I need to make sure I'm not committing to anybody who is not a part of the plan. They have to be part of the goals. I also think that Capricorn people tend to do, some later in age, you'll see some be more invested in marriage or kids, or be more feeling more set up for that. Now, dating a Capricorn, it's important to realize that they want to make sure you are secure. I know the beginning of this may sound like, oh my gosh, Capricorn, I don't know if I want to date Capricorn. If you are an earthy person, you probably will benefit from being in a relationship with a Capricorn, because the thing is, if you don't need all the warm fuzzies, oh my gosh, tell me every day how you feel about me, you might, that's the thing people don't understand. Does it matter if a sign has a stereotype, if there's people that can deal with that? Like, a lot of people act like certain people's personality traits are a problem, but it's only a problem for you, or it's a problem for you, right? Some people don't care. They're like, if a person shows their love for me by what they do for me, that's love. And some people need the cards, and some people need you to write a poem about them, right? Who are you? Whether you're a man or a woman, it's like, what do you need? We can definitely go on YouTube, we can go on TikTok, and we can get somebody to tell us what we need, or we can listen to ourselves. And there's great content on YouTube and TikTok and social and Instagram. There are great people who give great content, but I'm saying some people also follow somebody else's needs, and then you wonder why you're unhappy in certain things, okay? Some of them. Now, the thing I would say is, like, the thing with Capricorn, they like to provide and ensure the family unit is secure. Okay, Capricorn cares about security. If a Capricorn doesn't care about your safety, your security, you get home on time, did you, send me a message that you got back home? Let me know that you're good. Do you have everything that you need? That is sometimes the way Capricorn will show you that they care. They'll care by investing in your goals. Oh, you had an interview 2 weeks ago. How did that go? That's them investing in you. So just because someone is not, now again, I'm not saying if you're in a serious relationship or marriage, of course you should have heard I love you at some point, right? But what I'm saying is, some people show their love in different ways. Them going out on a limb to care about your goals and care about what you have done and care about supporting you and care about your vision, that is a symbol of that sometimes, okay? They can come off, but you have the Capricorns who are more, once they get in a situation where they feel safe, that is when they're more so going to show their more sensitive side. But they have to go out to in the world and get things done. And so that's when they come home. Capricorn doesn't always feel like having to then do it at home too. So it's important to understand how your Capricorn person might behave to the world, and also what they need when it comes to their household and things like that. Okay. Now, again, what I wrote Also, since Saturn is their ruler, Capricorns can sometimes come off a dead-end relationships without the messy, complicated, ambiguous nature of other signs. Other signs, oh, we still together, oh, I don't know, or I'm trying to make this work, or Capricorn's like, it's over, it didn't work. What am I restarting this for? And again, I think that's kind of logical. And I know people may look at this and be like, but wait, the warm fuzzies. Do you need the warm fuzzies? Some people do, some people don't. Okay. Now, what's I say? Some can use a relationship to make some sort of statement or focus on status, but at their best, Capricorn can be devoted and family oriented. Okay, the protector of the family or protective nature. You sometimes, again, you might not always hear what you want to hear, but you have to look at the action sometimes, and you'll see that Capricorn's way of caring is different, but Capricorn's way of caring is also an endearing need to fulfill this level of unity within the family unit, or unity in terms of making sure this is a successful union or relationship. So Capricorn does tend to be willing to put more effort into certain things, remembering anniversaries, things that you would think are the more romantic, but Capricorn understands the purpose of the traditional aspect. So if you like traditional relationships, or you like this element of what is expected, we celebrate anniversaries, we go on vacations, our wedding needs to look like this, we need to do this, you might actually like being in a relationship with Capricorn. Okay. Aquarius. Now be prepared for an unorthodox relationship. Even the way you first get together could be through a friendship, or it can be through social media, or through something that is not quite the average. And this could also be the sun, the moon, the rising. So again, this video is not specifically just about sun energy, but Aquarius doesn't tend to believe in all the traditional typical aspects of relationships. They rebel against the status quo. Some Aquariuses rebel against gender norms more so than some people, or some Aquariuses can they rebel against and by gender norms, I mean presentation or what they identifies with. But sometimes Aquarius rejects gender norms within a relationship. You do this, I do that. Aquariuses can also reject marriage. Aquarius energy says, like, why do I need the system, the government, to tell me who I love? So you can sometimes hear that from people who have Aquarian energy within the chart. Now, Aquarius is unorthodox, but in terms of open-mindedness, similar to what I said with Sagittarius, but with Aquarius, it's more the experimentation thing. It's more about, I understand there's a variety of perspectives out there. I understand there's a variety of people. Venus and Aquarius don't tend to have a specific type. Now, their type could be, right? Their type could be something that is clear, right? I like people who are open-minded, or I need a relationship like this, but the look of the people, some people you look at and all their exes look the same. That's not always the case with Aquarius energy, because it's different. I'm trying to connect you on a mental level. And because of that, I can actually respect you for who you are. And even if what you are is unique or different, that's an Aquarian type of theme there. Okay. Aquarius doesn't let society dictate who they should date. So sometimes when I see a person dating someone, especially a celebrity, and I'm like, oh, their partner doesn't match what society would want them to date, or there's something about their partner that's different, I see that Aquarius energy, where it's the moon. It's not always the sun. It's typically when it comes to dating, and I see a person with someone I wouldn't usually think they would be with. Again, that's not me judging them, but you'll see the moon, or you'll see Venus. Okay, there in terms of the person's love, or even Mars, in terms of who they pursue in relationship, or who they get into a relationship with. You can often see that. And again, it can mean society, sometimes barriers, racial barriers, people who have, now in 2022, interracial dating is way more common than it was before. But even if you look at people from previous generations, now you do see that Aquarian energy showing up in their chart of them, being, with someone who society would tell them they couldn't be with, or it's someone different from them in some way. Now, different from you doesn't mean you can't vibe on an intellectual level. Different doesn't mean that there's nothing similar. It just means there's something that stands out, right? Now, Aquarius is usually linked to groups in society. Aquariuses like to belong to something, okay? A group, a club, a church group, this organization, a bowling league, a group of friends, a fraternity, a sorority. Aquarius energy, whether it is Aquarius signs, 11th house energy, I want to belong to something. Okay. And because they want to belong to something, you have to understand that they're also going to have a second family, right? This person is like every summer for 2 weeks, I go away with my frat brothers to such and such. Every you know, it might be like every 2 weeks, me and my church go on this, not every 2 weeks, not be extreme, every 2 weeks in the summer, my church group goes here, or I have to go here for this, or the ladies here need me, or, you know, my book club needs me. So you have to understand where you're dating Aquarius. So like, one is interesting. It can be good because this person is not consumed by you. They're only worrying about you. They're coming home and they're like, where are you? Like, they might, but I'm saying for the most part, Aquarius isn't really trying to do that because it has something else to do. And that can attract some of you that like a person like that. You like somebody involved in the community. You like somebody who has a mission beyond just a relationship, right? And so just knowing that that may sometimes take up some of their time, okay? As well, sometimes from the relationship a little bit. Okay. Also, for someone who may have weird quirks or habits, teasing them or denying them freedom is the easiest way to get on their bad side, because Aquarius is not going to let you down easily. There are some signs that will let you down easily. Libra's like, okay, we got to make a clean break. I don't want no drama. You know, Libra breaking up. I still want us to be friends, you know, right? That could be like a Libra type of thing. But you have to understand also, like, Aquarius is cutting it off. Now, it's not even like Virgo. Virgo's going to have to tell you and analyze why we're breaking up. I'm going to tell you exactly what you did and why. But that's not Aquarius, like air. All right. And air is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. Uranus, abruptness, Saturn, limitations. We're done. I'm blocking you. Don't call me anymore. And I'm not saying all Aquariuses would say that, but that could be the vibe. That could be the energy of like, I'm just cutting you off. Moving on. I have so many other things I'm already doing. Now, Aquarius does sometimes have to take time to understand their emotions, because there could be when you're not focused on emotions, you ignore that you have them. It doesn't mean you're not an emotional person. I hope that makes sense. So Aquarius, you might want to sometimes take a break. Like, if you realize the relationship is over, don't just immediately go jump to someone else or jump to your hobbies and forget, like, wait, I'm hurting too. All right. Like, so that's just something to keep in mind. They may forget important dates or text or late at the last moment, but they make up for it with the ability to fix things at last minute's notice, and also their intelligence for those who need a partner who engage in a lively debate. So if you need an intelligent partner, you might forgive some of that stuff. You know, they forgot to do this, they forgot to do that, or they were too busy doing this. But Aquarius is more, you know, thinking about the broad theme of things, right? Aquarius is thinking about the bigger picture type of energy sometimes of something, not the minute little things, details that you might see Virgo or something like that. Now, lastly, Pisces. So what did I write? I wrote, being with a Pisces can sometimes feel like things that Hallmark cards are made of, and at some moments feel like that things that random weather changes without a moment's notice are made of, right? So being with Pisces can be like, oh my gosh, this person said the sweetest message to me today, or, ooh, I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks, right? What's going on? Depends what type of Pisces energy person you are, or what type of Pisces energy person you are with. It's mutable water. Mutable water is the most flexible of all the mutable signs. And so it's slippery, it's meandering, it is not something you can contain. But Pisces doesn't intentionally want to ruffle feathers. If drama happens around Pisces, they don't typically want that. So if things get too serious or deep, you can be like, what happened to all the love letters? Pisces can sometimes struggle with commitment, because Pisces is not a sign that in any way, shape, or form focused on boundaries and titles and those types of things that are definitive. That is not what Pisces is about. Okay. And so, though it can be a very sensitive sign for sure, it's not, it actually has, what I like about it, it actually has collective love for all. So in a relationship, they may truly be immersed in the life of their partner because they view all things as possible, all things as meaningful. Let me look into this. Now, I wrote, as the true shapeshifter of the Zodiac, the Neptunian god goddess, they can easily involve themselves in their partner's lives and take interest in the things they like. That's where you get the mutability. Oh yeah, my partner's going vegan, so let me just try this too. Or my partner's doing, and it's not that they're following, it's that they can immerse themselves. Pisces is not hung up on the categories like other people. And I think that's what people don't understand. They're not hung up. They don't care about that, right? And so for them, it's easier to immerse themselves in someone else's life. It's okay as long as you're not unsure of who you are, right? Now, Pisces can be very idealistic about relationships, and sometimes it can influence their fantasies. You know, they can see the best in people, but sometimes they don't really see what someone is really about. Now, it can be beautiful when somebody needs a chance, right? Sometimes people don't see someone's value until someone else sees their value. And Pisces is not doing all that critical, oh, I don't like you because of this, and you don't come from the right family, and you don't look like this and that. Pisces is not usually doing all of those things. Now, Pisces sometimes can be associated for people who are more into beauty and things like that, because Pisces, Neptune is this ruler of the illusion and beauty and things that can sometimes be those topics. But Pisces can also be vulnerable to hurt and internalize it. At times, there's unspoken words, you know. They internalize your actions way more. They internalize what you say. Pisces is very receptive, and sometimes Pisces is too sensitive to what they think is happening, and it's delusion. But Pisces, the people who are more intuitive Pisces, who have their stuff together, they know, they sense it without you saying what you really mean. They know without you really saying it what you really feel. And so that's just something just to keep in mind, is that you think, oh, Pisces in la la land, they have no idea what I'm doing, but they do. And the thing I've been telling people for years, stop underestimating some of these signs. You underestimate all these signs. Oh, they can't do anything. Oh, there's this, there's that. Like, honestly, okay. I said, like, you know, it's important to understand, like, Pisces can flip that mirror. Pisces can flip on that switch, and they can do something to really manipulate you. Oh, you did this to me? And Pisces will do it with a sweet smile, and you won't even know Pisces did it until it's too late, because you underestimate them. You don't think they can get away with anything. You think you can hurt them and do what you want, and they don't have something up their sleeve. In fact, because nobody thinks they're doing anything. Now, is that what all Pisces are? No, but I'm saying in relationships, a lot of people tend to walk over certain people with certain energy. And even if we're not talking about a Pisces person, anyone that's nice or anyone who seems to be accepting, instead of loving that a person is accepting, a lot of people walk all over or manipulate people, or you use somebody. So a lot of people don't really like nice people. You just want to use nice people. And no, not every Pisces is nice. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is just something that sometimes can happen, okay? Now, like, I don't personally know any mean Pisces. My personal self, but again, that's my opposite sign. So I don't know if I just have a different receptivity to Pisces, but that's not a sign I've ever had real issues with. There are other signs I've had issues with as a pattern, but it hasn't been Pisces. Pisces wants to mirror another's actions. Like I said, they'll hurt you. They can hurt. They want you to feel the hurt that they felt, because it's so sensitive to them. So like I said, don't assume all those pleasantries. There's more to Pisces. There's more to it, okay? Now, similar to Libra, the lack of comfort with confrontation can cause Pisces to not be as direct in relationships. That's where you get the evasiveness, the escapism. I was depressed, so I didn't call you for a month. You're like, but why? I don't want to deal with reality problems. That's a Pisces thing. I've talked about that in the toxic video, okay? Now, unlike Libra, who may stay and be unhappy, because Libra is cardinal, and Libra, it's more forward, right? Libra is more in the thick of things, in the social scene. Like, Libra, it's a little bit different. But Pisces is like, hey, I'm mutable water. I'm out, you know, or they may not say it. They're not going to say it because they don't want these uncomfortable feelings. So a lot of people with Pisces energy have to learn to stand up for themselves. Okay. I'm thinking of somebody I know right now. They're not a sun in Pisces, but they have another prominent placement in Pisces. And this person has grown and learned to stand up for themselves while still being a sensitive person, while still being a compassionate person. They've learned to do this. Okay. Now, Pisces will be able to provide you with the genuine feeling of your feelings being listened to. Okay. Unlike other signs such as Virgo, Gemini, or Aquarius, who can relate on a logical level, but not always on an emotional level. I would even throw Sagittarius in there as well. That some signs, oh yes, we vibe mentally, but Pisces actually truly absorbs what you're saying and truly has a compassionate lens of really internalizing it in order to really want you to heal and be helped. Now, Virgo is good with practical advice, but the Pisces partner is able to truly empathize with you. And for people that need that, that's good. Now, if you need a more logical partner, you might be like, well, no, I need somebody to give me advice. I need somebody to tell me what to do. I need somebody to kind of be that cheerleader. That could be good for you. But for people who need more of that empathetic person, maybe you grew up with very harsh, strict parents, very abusive parents, and you're like, I want a partner that's that accepts me, that does not speak harshness to me. I need that. That could be Pisces, right? That could be a person with this dominant energy. So that is it for this video. Please hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed and drop any comments to anything that you can relate to.